All right, I got two big topics as we talk about this video. One of them is a trade that there are rumors that the Chargers are making calls on a former number 4 overall pick. Not a 4th round pick, number 4 overall pick. I want to see if it's something you'd be interested in. And there's a completely forgotten about lineman. I've talked about him on this channel. I'm telling you, Jim Harbaugh likes the familiarity here, and I'm wondering if this could turn into something for this team. So we're going to talk about those two things. What I'm going to title it, I have no idea yet. It'll be about one of those two things in the title because you can't have a double title. All right, if you're not familiar or new to this channel, my name is Craig. Me and my buddy Chris started this a little over a year back. We followed this guy, Jim Harbaugh, to L.A., we're in Michigan. We're Lions fans. We're Michigan fans. And we have followed him over. Just love talking Chargers football. Man, beautiful uniforms, isn't it? I got close to the color of blue that you used, by the way, with my shirt today. But anyways, with all that being said, let's start by talking about the trade. A possible trade. All right. And it is an article talking about, are the Chargers one of the teams calling about a trade for a former top 5 pick? That man is none other than the Atlanta Falcons' Kyle Pittz. All right, the Chargers have had eyes on the Falcons as a team at least willing to listen to trade offers for Kyle Pittz. Now, Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports said that nothing is imminent and Atlanta would prefer to keep him. But I'm told it would take at least a day 2 pick to even spark serious talks. Now, Chargers had a ton of picks last year. This year, they just have 6. They have their 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Now, these are slotted in as numbers. We don't actually know what they are until the season's over. We don't know where that pick will land based on their record. They own their own pick in every round but the 7th. So the question I have for all of you, you know the ups and downs of Kyle Pittz. And quite frankly, it's just been going down, down, down. I wish I could sing. All right. And I don't know why I just busted out into a song. It was absolutely unique. But would you be willing to give up a 2nd, most likely late 2nd, because I think this is absolutely a playoff team again this year, or a late 3rd in order to get Kyle Pittz? Or would you be willing to give up maybe a 2nd and then get back, maybe give up like a 2nd and a 6th and get back a 3rd or something along those lines? My answer to this is really, really simple. My answer is yes. I think I would. When you look at Kyle Pittz, look at him here. He is a guy, if you look down at the bottom, he has gotten worse every single year. I know that's not a good pitch to be like, yep, this is why I'd have him. There was a major knee injury right here. All right, when he came back all of 2023, his gait wasn't even correct. It was all messed up. And so, this is a guy who had an injury. I think it took him time to get back from it, and now I think he's either disgruntled or upset at the way in which he has been used. He's got to be upset at the way in which he's been used. And when you look at him, I'll pull up even more specific receiving things. All right, I can absolutely do that. But when you look at him, you have to start wondering, man, how upset is he? All right, this is a guy who's an all-world talent at tight end, and over the last 2 years, he's had 86 and 70 targets. He had 107 targets in his first year, and he turned that into over 1,000 yards receiving. It's really good when you have over 10 yards per target. That's really good for a tight end. He is absolutely skilled. He is absolutely talented. So that is not the concern here. The concern here is, will he ever be himself again? He's been just this inconsistent thing. Now, I just did a video on a tight end that you drafted that I think could be good. But would I be willing to do a bet on a guy that was a former number 4 pick that when you look at him and look at his just pure talent level, he's one of the most athletic tight ends to ever test at the combine? Right? I mean, everybody talked about how Kyle Pittz wasn't a tight end. He's a wide receiver. Right? Is this something that could fit in this system that they absolutely love to use the tight end? That's the one thing that's still missing on this offense is an elite tight end. That's the one thing that's still missing on this offense. That is it. All right, so that's the trade talk. Now let's get in to a guy, and I'll give you a couple other observations from OTAs. But I want to talk to you about one specific lineman, and that specific lineman is guard Carson Barnhart. Carson Barnhart was drafted out of Michigan. He was a team captain there. He got injured in the final game against Ohio State. Against Ohio State in the year that Michigan won a national championship. So last year he was unable to do much of anything because of that injury. But here's the thing. The Chargers currently have 15 linemen on their 90-man roster. 13 were there for Thursday's practice. Yes, I know. Arguably your best offensive lineman was not there. It remains to be seen what that's going to look like. But here's what's interesting to me. The right side of the line was imposing. You had Mekhi Becton and you had Joe Alt. Yeah, that's a lot of weight. All right, that's 700 pounds and almost 14 feet. All right, on one side of the line. Bradley Bozeman manned the center. All right, Zion Johnson snapped to Herbert and other quarterbacks in the early portion of practice, but did not partake in the team sessions, meaning the Chargers only had a dozen linemen. Here's the thing that's interesting. Jamari Sawyer slotted in at left tackle, while rookies Branson Taylor and second-year lineman Carson Barnhart split reps at left guard. So Carson Barnhart got split starting reps. I know it's just OTAs. I know there's no pads, but this is a level of trust. This shows that they trust his communication and what he's doing. The second team consisted of Stewart at left tackle, Taylor at left guard, Andre James at center, Barnhart at right guard, and Tyler McClellan at right tackle. So first team was split reps, where Carson Barnhart got split reps. He was also on the second team. Do you know where you don't see him? The third team. You see Taylor on the third team. You see Stewart on the third team, but you don't see Barnhart, which tells you that he already has a leg up on it, and there's a level of trust the coaches have. Maybe that knee is getting healthier. Maybe he is coming back to being what he was before. All right, other observations. Wasn't there. Didn't watch it myself, but everybody is saying that Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey are in midseason form. All right, they picked up right where they left off, which is exactly what you want to see. They spent the final team period focusing on third downs with the first team offense and defense going at it. All right, he started the drill by finding Jalen Johnson. Then he found Quentin Johnson, and then that is when this article says the magic started to happen. This is great. It says as Herbert lofted a deep pass to McConkey down the left sideline on 3rd and 5. McConkey then bobbled the ball to himself with Tarheeb Still and Alohi Gilman in coverage before securing the catch. All right, this is pretty cool. It's worth noting because that since contact isn't allowed, perhaps the plays turn out differently. That's fine. All right, but it started happening already. All right, also good to know, Heineke hit first down completions to both Brendan Rice and Trey Harris before Lance found Johnson for a first down. Lance's final pass was complete. All right, look, isn't it fun just to know that there are Chargers playing football right now? Isn't that great? So happy to see it. Hey, if you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow this channel even more. Love the community that's been built. Have a taco, all right? And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.